Hey folks, for OS Reviews. This video is going to document some of the more minute details that I found and enjoyed from the Lenovo K3 Note that was not mentioned in our video review. So starting off with the Theme Center, some people wanted to get a closer look at what this program does, and again allows you to customize and download different themes that have been created by various individuals, developers, as well as by Lenovo. So you get to change both the lock screen image or wall screen image, in addition to the ways that the icons and the text and fonts are displayed. So it completely does a refresh on the look and personality of your phone depending on what you're into. Now, most of these things are going to be in Chinese depending on the variant of the phone that you have, so that's something to keep in mind. But again, it is a pretty interesting way to customize the look of your phone. It's not the newest thing in the world. We've seen this already a few times on LG and Samsung phones in the past, but nonetheless, it's a good option that you have on this Lenovo product. Another thing that I like here is the fact that some of the icons here, at least the default ones designed by Lenovo, are actually interactive if you look very closely. So one example would be the clock application you can see here. This is displaying your time and date, but you can see here that even though it's an application, once you tap on it, it allows you to set your alarm. You can see that it's actually moving and interactive. So there is a minute in addition to a second and hour hand that will actually move in real time, giving you an indicator of what time of day it is, which is actually pretty interesting. It's quite impressive in terms of the detail. And again, if I tap on this, it indeed opens up the actual application, which gives me things like the timer, a stopwatch, clock, and alarms to work with. And all these things have been tweaked and changed by Lenovo as far as the fonts and design is concerned. Some great, some not as great as the default Google versions, the vanilla build versions, but at least Lenovo really is trying here. Other things that you'll find here include a file browser, which allows you to more easily navigate between programs installed on your micro SD card and the ones you might have on the phone's default memory, and allows you to swap between those as well, which is pretty cool. Some other things we want to look at closely on the drag-down notification drawer include access to things like a night protection mode, which allows you to turn on a very low light in terms of the screen brightness, and that dims and kind of locks the brightness control on the bar over here, which makes it easier on your eyes and reduces eye strain and damage if you are reading any files or watching videos in bed, which is a pretty cool feature to have actually. Tapping on this again turns that off. I can also turn on the ultimate power mode, which is a complete power saving mode that saves you, in case you are in an emergency and you only have 5% of battery remaining, and will actually last you for the remainder of the day. It gives you a very simplified operating system view of only the time, the battery life that's remaining, in this case 27 hours, believe it or not, since it's automatically shut off your Wi-Fi as well as your non-essential wireless information and data, and gives you access to simple features like the dialer pad, in addition to the contacts, SMS, and a clock. So that's all you get, and gives you this very simple UI that you can't really exit out of by accident unless you turn it off by tapping on the notification drawer or exit out of this, and restores your data. So other things on here, again, there's a screenshot mode that allows you to capture a screenshot whenever you tap on that once. And also there is, again, that flash command that we talked about, in addition to what's called a Y-Touch, which is kind of interesting. And that what Y-Touch does is bring up this little movable dot that you see here that is kind of similar in design to the iOS virtual assistant in case your home button gets damaged or something from your iOS product, but that you can tap on once and gives you a few shortcuts that you might commonly use, including the settings, the music. You can go back, add favorites, enable some gestures, take a look at the camera, go to the various switchers. So this is actually pretty simple to use. So it allows for more easy one-handed operation and gives you additional keys in case you want them on your home screen, and they hide away when not used. So other things that allows you to use through gestures include clicking on the float button to deploy a certain menu that you can long press on it to again access the notification bar, for instance. I can also double tap on it to return to a desktop, for instance. So it allows you to set up this button for a few other usages. The last feature I'm going to show you guys is that there is a universal search feature on here that is actually hidden. If I swipe up from the bottom of the display, it brings up this T9 to quickly find an app, and I can tap on this to quickly find out related apps that have the same name in their title, and then tap on them to really quickly access them. That actually doesn't extend to the web browsing functionality, so it doesn't give you searches or intelligent results, but at least allows you to filter through your apps in a more cohesive and easier manner. Obviously, if you want to customize your phone even more, you can do that and change even more through elements like, let's say, the CPU clock speed. You can also change things like adding the functionality for split screen application views, but those are just some of the things that you can have access to directly out of the box when you just pick up the Lenovo K3 Note without having to do any tweaking at all. So hopefully you guys found this video informative and useful for some very quick tips and tricks of additional features you have from Lenovo's Vibe UI version 2.0. Thanks for watching here at OS Review.